Yeah, and we had a kind of a similar situation happen with that. When we kind of knew we were in the situation we were, I asked Tim what was on his bucket list. I was like, "Do you want to take a cruise?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, "Do you want to go to Africa?" No. But what he really wanted to do was remodel our pool.
Ah,
It was the last thing that we were going to do to remodel our house, and he's like, if this might be my last summer, I really want to spend it on the pool. And so we decided to go ahead and remodel, and we had a huge fencing project that had to be done. And, Tim had over the years put most of the fencing up in our yards, but he just wasn't capable. He didn't have the physical energy. So it reminded me of like an Amish barn raising. Yeah.
uh-huh.
This huge group of men, of people from our church, my clients that had been reading and wanted to help, family, friends, all came, and in 90-degree weather erected this fence over an 8 or 9 hour period. And then the women brought food and fed everybody and kept other things going and built this beautiful fence for us that, was able to enclose the pool that we had remodeled. And it was incredible. I mean, it's just, and Tim would wander out when he felt strong enough just to kind of supervise and see what was going on. And, but to experience that kind of support is a very humbling and amazing kind of thing.
If you've just joined us again this morning, my name is the Reverend Francis X. Mazer, better known as Father Butch. I'm on staff at the Erie County Medical Center most of the time, if I'm not doing ecumenical or interreligious work here in Buffalo and Western New York. We're speaking this morning about a personal journey, not a story, but a journey. Darcy Thiel. Darcy is a licensed mental health counselor. She holds a master's degree in clinical psychology. She's a full-time therapist, mom, religious believer, part of a faith community, part of a support group, and wrote a book about her process. And the title of the book is Bitter and Sweet, a family's journey with cancer. How do people get this book and find out about it?
Well, it's pretty accessible on the internet. If you Google Bitter and Sweet, it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and several other smaller places. Most of the mom and pop bookstores around here carry it.
Because you were a local famous author?
I don't know about famous, but
Okay.
but most of the smaller stores have it. A few businesses have it out. If you're a e-book format, it's out in Kindle and Nook and all of those formats as well.
And you are also on the speaker circuit. Besides being a therapist, and you talk about your journey.
Yeah, again, this book has really kind of opened up a whole new career for me, because I'm so passionate about this topic, and we have gone into several different types of places, whether it's book clubs or grief groups, churches, libraries, schools, high schools, and most recently we've really been pushing to get through on the college level, and have been doing some lectures in different classes in almost all of the different colleges around here. Doing philosophy classes, counseling groups, medical groups, nursing classes, etc. The idea being that they receive a really good textbook education about how to help people. And my book is kind of what I think helps them round out their education, because it's very real and it's very raw. It's very personal and honest. And so it kind of provides that other piece for the helping professionals to remember these are real people we're dealing with, and these are the kinds of issues they're going through. And it's been very well received. I mean, those lectures are going very, very well.
And some of the things you talk, obviously, to these groups about terminal illness, medical decisions, how to prepare for a death, right?
Absolutely. We're just kind of the typical family living life working, raising kids, and then when you're suddenly placed in a situation like that, you're faced with all kinds of decisions you're not prepared to face. The first day he went into his supposed typical gallbladder surgery, I had to make decisions with my surgeon because he came out and said, I can't remove it. What do you want me to do? I can go in the traditional way and open them up and take it out, or I can pull out and just do a biopsy. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I have no idea. I don't know how to handle this. But we chose our surgeon extremely carefully. And so I was able with confidence to ask him, what would you do if it was your wife? And he was able to answer very confidently. And we found out later we made the best medical decision we could with that. But those are the types of issues I like to talk to people about. If you're going to be a patient advocate, you need to be educated and you need to know what kinds of things to ask. And so I talk a lot about that, how to work in our medical system. It's a medical system that's struggling, in my opinion. There's a lot of confusing information and lots of doctors and nurses with patient loads that are overbearing for them. So you really have to know how to fight for your loved one or for yourself. And so a lot of my lecturing and conversations are about things like that, how to be a patient advocate. How do you face terminal illness and fight for your life? Attitude is hugely important in your health, but know when to accept death and accept mortality. We had to make decisions about when to switch from curative care to palliative care. And there's a lot of research about that and how oftentimes people who switch to palliative care and comfort care live longer than people in treatment because they're comfortable and they can eat and sleep when they're not able to do that under treatment. So again, all stuff we had no idea about, that you have to quickly educate yourself under stressful situations. So my hope is if I can help talk with people, get people to talk about these topics that are uncomfortable, and give thought to them before you get in that situation. The book is chock full of all kinds of very practical information that's helpful for people.
Yeah, the title of that book, once again, is Bitter and Sweet, A Family's Journey with Cancer by Darcy Thiel. I know in my own personal life, I faced a tragic situation. My sister was a victim of hit and run. Oh. And severe head injuries. And I knew the scope of the situation. But my mother and father, who were still alive at the time, had no comprehension at all of what was going on, how severe the situation was. And that was just through their conversation, because they were talking about the things she had to do. She was an educator and translator, linguist. The things she had to do next week and next month. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at my brothers and sisters and saying, there is no next week and next month. And I can remember distinctly the physician, the neurosurgeon, deferred to me then. Mm-hmm. Probably as a clergy person, I suppose, mm-hmm. and somebody who was understanding, the whole situation in terms of comfort measures and the withdrawal of treatment that we mm-hmm. talked about. And now my sister was 33, but she was single. And so it came upon my parents, really. They were the ones would be next of kin, as we say in the system. But then I guess I became more next of kin mm-hmm. in making those kind of decisions because it was difficult. And even at the time, as I look back, the compassion of the pastoral minister at the hospital, a woman, it was wonderful. She had a religious sister. She had stayed the whole time with the family, which was, basically a 15-hour process here that we're going through. And that support is always great, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And organizations like hospice, they do an amazing job of supporting in so many different ways with those kinds of things. And it's always kind of amazing to me that in our particular westernized society, death is such a taboo topic. People don't want to talk about it. And if you're young, you don't want to jinx anything. And yet it's the one universal that we know is absolutely true, regardless of race, of gender, of cultural issues. It's something we're all going to face. And I think as science and medical technology continues to advance, more and more of us are going to find out in advance when our time is coming. And so what I say to all of those helping professionals out there, you want to help people, the first and foremost important thing that you need to do is be able to grapple with this concept yourself. Because if you're not able to talk about this, the D word, the C word, all of that, it's going to be very difficult for you to help someone else. So we have to be able to talk about it. We have to be able to face it. Get your affairs in order. Talk to people about what your wishes are. Get it in writing even better. Because it's very hard on those people around you to know what to do, what are your values, all of those things. So, but amazing things can happen if you are willing to do that. So for Tim, he put so much energy into fighting for his life and really believed he was going to pull through right till the end. But he also prepared for his death, and he did some amazing stuff. He picked out a cemetery plot. He designed his headstone. But more importantly, he wrote birthday cards for his 8-year-old till he's 18. Wow. He wrote wedding cards for his 3 sons who weren't married. Like, those things are gifts that are priceless. But if he had refused to acknowledge what was happening in his life, those things wouldn't have happened.
Now, let's say somebody wants to get a hold of you and to either you're a therapist, besides a therapist, you give these talks to a variety of groups. How would people contact you? And please.
I'll give you my number. It's 716-912-8448. That's 716-912-8448. You're welcome to call or text me there. The website for the book is babycooppublishing.com. That's BABY, C as in cat, OOP, publishing.com. And on there's all kinds of information about the book and a 3-minute book trailer that actually shows Tim talking about his illness. It's a pretty amazing video. And then you also, through that website, can contact me by email. You can get links to my counseling website. They're all kind of interconnected.
Okay, I'm going to give those numbers again for our listeners because I think there are a lot of people out there who would be interested in having you as a speaker to their book club or church or school or whatever. Darcy Thiel, who spoke to us today about her journey with her husband Tim and his illness. Darcy's phone number, area code 716, and the number 912-8448. And the website, babycooppublishing.com. And coop is like chicken coop, right?
Yes.
COOP, babycooppublishing.com. And again, Darcy's number, area code 716-912-8448. We're really glad that you could come in today to speak with us this morning. And we hope there are some listeners out there who perhaps are having a struggle, a journey right now with some kind of an illness with their loved ones and their family members. So if you'd like to get Darcy's book, Darcy Thiel, the title of the book is Bitter and Sweet, A Family's Journey with Cancer.